Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I'm going to read chapter 8, Myron. Myron had big ears. He was elected class president. The children in Mrs. George's class expected him to be a good president. Other presidents were good speakers. Myron was even better. He was a good listener. But he had a problem. He didn't know what a class president was supposed to do. So he asked, "What am I supposed to do?" "It's a difficult job," said Miss Jewell. "But you can't do it. You must turn the lights on every morning and turn them off at the end of the day." "What?" asked Myron. "As a class president, you must learn to listen," said Mrs. Jewell. "I'll repeat myself only one more time. You must turn the lights on every morning." "I heard you the first time," said Myron. "It just doesn't sound like much of a job." "It certainly is," said Mrs. Jewell. "Without light, I can't teach, and the children can learn. Only you can give us the light." "I think it's a very important job." "I guess so," said Myron. He wasn't convinced. "Here, let me show you how to work a light switch," said Mrs. Jewell. "I already know how," said. "I've been turning lights on and off all my life." "Very good. You'll make a fine president." Myron wanted to be the best president ever, but it was such an easy job, he thought, that anybody could do it. When school let out that day, Myron stayed behind. He turned out the lights by flicking the switch down. "Excellent," said Mrs. Jewell. On his way home, Myron heard a horrible noise. First there was a loud screeching, then a sharp squeal, a roaring engine, and then the very faint sound of a girl crying. Myron ran to see what had happened. Donna was bent over in the middle of the road. "What's the matter?" asked Myron. "My dog Puxy was hit by a car." "Who did it?" "I don't know. They sped away." "Well, that's not important. We've got to try to save Puxy." Pug lay unconscious in the street. Myron carefully picked her up. He carried her 2 miles to the vet. Dana cried at his side. "Don't worry, Dana," said Myron. "She'll be all right." But he wasn't really so sure. He gave Puxy to the vet, walked Dana home, then walked home himself. Dana was just so upset that she forgot to thank him. Myron didn't mind. He thought that was what being class president was all about. The next morning, before he went to school, Myron went to Dana's house. Puxy was there, so she seemed all right. Dana patted her. Puxy licked her face. "See, Myron, she's all right. The vet said that you brought her in just in time." "Hi, Puxy," said Myron. He patted her. Puxy beat his head. "I guess she doesn't know you. She was unconscious yesterday when you saved her life." Dana's mother put some medicine and a band-aid on Myron's hand. Then she drove the children to school. They were late. They went up the stairs to Mrs. Jewell's class. The room was completely dark. "It's about time you got here," says. "We have no light." "Why didn't somebody else just turn them on?" asked Myron. "Because you are class president," said Mrs. Jewell. "Show Stephen how to work the light. From now on, he will be class president." Myron showed Stephen how to turn on the light. He flicked the switch off. At the end of the day, Myron showed Stephen how to turn the lights off. He flicked the switch down. After a week, they finally caught on. He made a good president. The lights were on every morning. Myron, who was president for only a day, was the best president in the history of Wayside School. It was just that nobody knew it. Chapter 9, Marisha. Marisha liked ice cream. She was sweet and pretty and could beat up any boy in Mrs. Jewell's class. Everybody liked Marisha except Kathy, but then she didn't like anybody. Marisha only liked ice cream. Every day, Marisha brought an ice cream cone to school, kept it in her desk until lunchtime. At first, she brought chocolate ice cream every day, but soon she tired of chocolate ice cream. So she started bringing vanilla, but she got tired of vanilla too. Then she got tired of strawberry, fudge, ripple, butter pecan, pistachio, the burgundy cherry, in that order. And then a terrible thing happened. Marisha got tired of ice cream. By that time, her desk was a mess, and everything in it was sticky. Everybody liked Marisha, but Marisha didn't like anything. Mrs. Jewell hated to see Marisha unhappy. "I don't understand it, Mrs. Jewell," cried Marisha. "There just aren't any good flavors anymore." So Miss Jewell worked all night. She brought a new flavor of ice cream for Marisha. It was Marisha flavored ice cream. Everybody will like it, thought, because everybody likes Marisha. "Here you are, Marisha. Marisha flavored ice cream." Everybody gathered around as Marisha tasted it. They hoped she would like it. Marisha took a lick. "Well?" Marisha took another lick. "Well?" asked the class. "This ice cream has no taste." "Doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste good. Doesn't taste like anything at all," Mrs. Jules was heartbroken. Here, let me try, said Todd. He tasted it. You're crazy, Marisha. This is the best tasting ice cream I've ever eaten. Try some, Didi. It's delicious. So sweet and creamy. She passed it around the room. Oh, it's so good, said Leslie. I think it tastes terrible. I don't understand it, Marisha. I don't taste a thing. Miss Josh slapped herself in the face. Oh, I made a big mistake. Marisha, of course you can't taste anything. It's a Marisha flavored ice cream. It's the same taste you always taste when you're not tasting anything at all. The next day, Mrs. Joe brought in Joe flavored ice cream. Marisha liked it, so did everybody else. Joe thought it had no taste. Everybody liked Marisha. Marisha only liked Joe. The following day, Mrs. Joe brought in Ron flavored ice cream. Ron thought it had no taste, but everybody else loved it. Everybody liked Marisha. Marisha only liked Joe and Ron. By the end of the month, Mrs. Jones had brought in 27 new flavors of ice cream, one for each member of the class. Everyone liked Marisha. Marisha liked everybody. They all tasted so good, all except Kathy, that is. Kathy flavor tasted a little bit like an old Bologna. Everyone still agreed that Marisha flavored ice cream was the best, except Marisha. She liked the Todd ice cream the best. This turned out to be a problem. Every once in a while, Marisha would try to take a bite out of Todd jam in order to get that very special flavor. The end.